Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back. I have asked, and you have spoken. So, on my Patreon, I asked the specific topics most people are interested in, learning about and seeing some of my experience. And it appears child support is the most pressing issue, next to discharge and trust matters than privacy and court-related things. So, over the next few months and this year, I will make some of my focus these things that is based on your responses. The majority of it will be on the Patreon. And I will say this about child support. Child support is an abyss that most people in life somehow just open their eyes and one day they find themselves in. There are usually sequence of events that leads to it. But by the time it hits very much like a thief in the night. It comes swiftly, takes from you, and the effects linger around. And what it takes from you is just not your loved ones. It's not your seed. Whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. Even if it's not your child, maybe it's your sister's daughter or son or an extended relative. And the downside to that is if it's your biological child, and in some cases, even if it's not, according to the statute that governs, garnishment when it comes to child support and things like that, they can still garnish and take your monies. So those lingering effects hang on like that. So I'll be, over the next few months, I will be posting the remedies involved in that and the dynamics. Child support is very, very, very dynamic in itself, meaning there are many moving parts to it. There's the quasi-jurisdiction involved. There's the trust issue involved. A quick summary to child support is it's all about trust. That state of so-and-so, or that child support agency, or that child custody agency, are an agent of a private contractor acting as agents to the state of. And every time they take that child, they get grants from the state and federal level to say, oh, so this child has been taken now because their parents are somehow unfit, one way or the other. I will show you court orders of how they determine how you're unfit. Court orders that they hide from people. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll show you what the case looks like. I'll show you the laws. And then I'll begin to show you the remedies. I'll show you why you're taking that remedy by way of the things that they do themselves. So when they make those court orders, they're saying you're unfit. And then they take those court orders to the grant making agencies, which is things that I'm planning on talking about before this pool. But hopefully we can talk about that also in the future. And they use that as evidence that, okay, look, this is a liability on us now. We are not acting as the parent based on the principles of parents patria, meaning someone act in place of a legal guardian or a minor. According to Rule 17, they come in as executor of that estate, because whenever any child support case is done, it is the same thing and it's the same format and it's the same principles used when they do a deceased case or a bankruptcy case. Literally the exact same thing when it comes to child support. The only difference is they now have a private adjudicating venue dedicated to that child support or dedicated to child custody in order to basically do administrative private hearing. What you have to do is you have to strip them of that jurisdiction by first knowing how they don't have jurisdiction, not by merely saying they don't have jurisdiction, or not by merely saying that is my child. And in some case, if you make that claim, it's kind of backwards. If you make that claim, they will use it against you according to the private administrative law that they have to do such a thing. We'll go over all that and how truly you can begin to use that thing called the non-UCC or the UCC that a lot of people have been babbling about. We'll go over how to properly do that a step at a time. And then the different means of discharge. Remember, there are different dynamics to it, and you have to attack them at all ends. They are attacking you on different ends. And this is your child, your loved one. So you must take all means necessary to get them back. I'm not telling you it's going to be a walk in the park. I'll be forthcoming with you from the start. As an introductory video, I'm letting you know you will put in work. You have to put in work, because this is a multi-trillion, not billion, not million, $1 trillion business that many people are living well off, to the point where they leave that wealth to their children. And even if their children don't work their lifetime, their children can still live millions worth of assets to their children's children, just off of what they've done to you. So who in their right mind will want to let that go? So you have to really not only grab them by the balls, you will twist it so that they feel a lot of pain. And we'll be going over that over the next few months. And regarding the next popular thing in the pool, which is discharge, we'll be going over that. Discharge requires, there are many different types of discharge. Some of them you need knowledge about how the court dynamic work, like a court of satisfaction. Another thing a lot of people are not aware of with the thrill of a court of satisfaction is you, in some case, if you want, you can keep repeating it over and over. But if you really want to nip it in the bud, you will have to take them to small claims or the federal jurisdiction. So the things that I've been speaking about on this page and on Patreon regarding the court dynamics and rules of evidence, you would need to know that. There are other types of discharge whereby you can just keep doing it again over and over without any type of formal enforcement in the court. And all it takes is knowing who to call, who to write certain specific types of letters to, and basically communication skills. Really, your pen game has to be strong. And there's many different types of discharge. We'll be going over that, from the hierarchies of the easiest and the hardest and the most effective, the wise and house. So those are the two most popular ones from the pool: child support and the discharge. I will not be going over it on YouTube. I might post previews on YouTube, but mainly it will be on the Patreon. May the divine creator stay with you in all your endeavors and all the woes that other people have thrown at you. And to those still trying to get their children back, may your child's guardian angel always stay with them or her. Because in this world, there's a lot of people lying waiting to take advantage of young souls. And if you can screw a child up in the mind at an early age, it would remain with that being throughout the rest of their lives. They will grow bigger in the body, but the mind will stay small. And experiences like the child being stripped away from their parents and being taken into the hands of strangers, or being transferred back and forth without stability or consistency, because a child needs consistency. They're sponge, they absorb attributes and traits. And if there's no consistency, that child becomes confused. And child support system and the system of parents portray it is one of those means they get that done. If they can do that to the child, besides the fact that they're making a lot of finance from it and a lot of monies from it, and they are building generational wealth from it. Besides that, they are killing many birds with one stone. They're training up families, they're training up the future generations that could come and speak up and fix things by doing this to them. And you as the parent, kudos to you for even taking the steps to begin to fix that, one way or the other. Just know that your efforts are not in vain. And also, like I always say, you have to involve things of spiritual nature. It's not involved in any spooky things. It's not involved in speculation. It's functional, it's practical, and it's based on the similitude of how the universe works. Affirmations are good. Having a strong mind is good. That is where it starts. But then there are tools that you can use in daily lives. Certain flowers that you walk about, those things have a lot of spiritual power. Things like honey, things like the heat of the sun mixed with certain things. You can mix those together and get certain things done. There are certain things that you walk by that you can use as incense, like tree resins. You can use it as incense, like pine resin. Pine tree is consecrated to Saturn. Saturn is used when it comes to fatherly energy, to slow things down, to absorb things, to bring things back in order, court case and things like that. We'll be going over all that with things like this, because there's more than what meets the eye with all of these things. And there's a lot more. If you're into the Bible, no problem. Psalms is a very powerful tool. Seals are like gateways to realities and are meant to be used with certain psalms. So all this will be going over because these people are putting it to use. They incorporate seals and the algorithms of spirituality into their building structures. When you walk past and you see designs in these court buildings, those are not random cute looking designs. Those are seals meant to serve a specific purpose for what their intent is. When you step on certain buildings, there are certain things that are buried underneath the ground. I'm not talking about dead bodies, maybe those exist, but there are other things that are buried underneath the ground so that when you step on it, it mixes with your auric field and it affects your ability to fight, or basically run away, or not be capable in any way. No matter how much you know that what they're doing is not right, at the end of the day, you still feel that thing deep inside that you could have done better, despite knowing that they did something. All those things play an attribute. There's certain things you can carry on your persons, on your physical body when you're dealing with things of this nature. All those things we will go and deal with on the level that's comfortable for you. No one is trying to make you conform to anything. You have the right to your own religion and spiritual practices. But do know that these things that are shunned or looked away from in modern day, those are your foremothers and forefathers' way of practice. So you must honor thy father and mother so that your day might be long in earth plane. Part of the way that you know that you might not be honoring your mother and father is what's being done to your children. Don't abandon that which your foremothers and forefathers did back then. No matter what religion you are, there's a solution there for you. So best of luck, and until next time.